Good afternoon, students. My name is Sanat Kumar Swai, and we'll be discussing today about the evolution of organizational behavior. So, in the last two classes, we have discussed about organizational behavior, the importance of organizational behavior, the concept of organizational behavior. So, today we'll discuss in this class we'll discuss how it has evolved. What is the evolution of organizational behavior? So, organizational behavior has evolved significantly over the particular years, which has been shaped by the various changes in our society, the way we are behaving, the human behavior. So, we'll see that what are the various aspects, the overview of the evolution process till to date. Okay, right. So, if we go to the late 19th and early 20th century, we'll find that the evolution started with early management theories. Okay. There was earlier management theories which has been propounded by various scholars at that particular time. So, the first one is scientific management. Okay. The scientific management was propounded by Frederick Taylor. Frederick Taylor was propounded the scientific management theory, which focused on using the maximum use of time and motion studies so that the work process can be smooth-line. And subsequently, administrative management. So, administrative management was propounded by Henry Fayol principle of management. We'll go deep into this both the theories in the next slide. Okay. So, how the Henry Fayol principle of management was focused on the planning, organizing, coordinating, commanding and controlling of the management. So, Frederick Winslow Taylor, he was an American mechanical engineer. So, and he is also considered, he's been regarded as one of the father of scientific management. Well, he is regarded as the father of scientific management, and he was one of the first management consultant of the century. Okay. Frederick Winslow Taylor. So, he brought out a theory of scientific management. Now, what do you mean by scientific management? Management is something related to managing and organization. Scientific is something related to science. So, how those both of them correlate? So, Taylor's theory, it aims at improving the economic efficiency. How we need to improve the economic efficiency? At that particular time, in the early 19th century, you will find that economic efficiency can be improved through labor productivity. The more productivity, the labor productivity, the more economic efficiency. And it has got something to do with the most important thing, money. Okay, so he propounded that more work, more money. There should be fair day, pay day. Okay, fair day's pay. Like if a person is should be paid according to his performance or the amount of work generated. Okay. So he introduced a differential piece rate system of paying wages to the workers of those time. So that is known as scientific management because it helped bringing out the equal pay for equal work. Okay, and if a person is doing a certain amount of work, that should be rewarded or that should be compensated accordingly. Now, the principles of scientific management. So he, Frederick, he propounded that science is not rule of thumb. The management is a particular science, not rule of thumb. For example, what do you mean by that particular verb, science, not rule of thumb? That means that every work should be done scientifically. Every work it should be done scientifically, and there should be scientific management to all kind of works being done in any kind of organizational aspect. Okay, it's not a rule of thumb. Rule of thumb is it's not like even if a person is a sweeper and is working for a particular organization, let's say the municipal corporation, there should be scientific management, there should be scientific way of doing that work. Okay, so that is the phrase, like science not rule of thumb. So this was the first principle of the scientific management being propounded by Frederick. The second is harmony, not discord. In every organizational sphere, you will find that there should be harmony. He propounded there should be harmony, no, not discord. If there is a discord, then that will cripple the entire organizational structure. Thirdly, there should be cooperation. Okay, there should not be individualism. He was against individualism. He was in the for of cooperation. Okay, there should be cooperation within the teamwork, within the people working in a particular sphere, and there should not be any sort of individualism. Okay. And the fourth one is that development of every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. So a person should develop by giving out his or her best and his greatest efficiency and prosperity. So development of a particular individual is also a part of the scientific management theory being propounded by him. The next is Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol, father of general administration. He's been considered as the father of general administration. Now, and what did he propound? So he propounded 14 principles. Okay. So what are those principles? The first one is division of work. Work should be divided. Not everybody can do every kind of work, so there should be a division of work. Authority and responsibility. Authority and responsibility should be given to every individual. Third is discipline. Discipline should be of utmost importance within any organization, in any sector. Unity of command, unity of direction. Direction and command should come in a unified way in any hierarchy. Okay. Hierarchy of your hierarchy of your administration. So there should be a unity of a command and unity of direction from the hierarchy of your administration in any organization. Interest. There should be a common interest. There should be a common interest in any organization. Remuneration. The remuneration should be well paid. Centralization. There should be a centralization of administration in any organization. Scalar chain. Now, what is scalar chain? Scalar chain is like a proper hierarchy that should be chain from the administration. The CEO, the boss, the managing director, the next line of manager, okay, and it goes down and down. So there should be a scalar chain of administration within any organization. There should be order. There should be proper order. There should be equity. Equity, well-being within an organization. Stability of tenure. There should be, if a person is working in a particular organization, there should be stability of tenure. Nobody is going to throw him out with before his or her tenure. Initiative. What kind of initiatives are being taken in an organization? Esprit de corps. So these are the 14 principles of Henry Fayol, which was been propounded by Henry. Okay. And he was considered as one of the founding father of general administration. If we get back to 90s, the first movement was human relation movement. So in those time, Elton Mayo, he conducted Hawthorne theory. Why Hawthorne theory? Why Hawthorne studies? Because he highlighted, he was working in a Hawthorne in the place called Hawthorne, where he highlighted the importance of social and psychological factor in the employee production and satisfaction. If to make an employee productive and satisfied, importance of social and psychological factor cannot be undermined. So after the industrial evolution, it started in the 18th century. So in 18th century, it was like a more focus was being given to the mechanistic approach. Mechanistic approach was been given more importance rather than the humanistic approach in the um, industrial evolution. So this marked a shift from the mechanistic approach to the humanistic approach. Okay. So that is why this movement is termed as human relation movement, and it started from 1930s to 1950s. So who was Elton Mayo? Elton Mayo was a psychologist, he was a sociologist and an organizational theorist. Okay. So as because he conducted that theory in Hawthorne plant, which was an electric company in USA, so that experiment or that study was called as Hawthorne study or Hawthorne experiment. Okay. Now, what is Hawthorne experiment? What do you mean by Hawthorne experiment? Hawthorne is nothing. Hawthorne, as because it's a place. Hawthorne, that is why it has been termed as Hawthorne. Nothing else. Okay, there is nothing a certain meaning for Hawthorne. Okay. So what happens is that, for example, in any organization, if you see any kind of organization, will find that when the people, okay, when the people working in any kind of organization, they think that they are concerned, they know that their immediate boss, the owner of the organization or that particular institution, if they are concerned about their productivity, okay, about their well-being, then you'll find that their productivity automatically increases. Okay, so there is sense of well-being, there is a sense of calming effect that is going to increase their productivity. But if let's say if there is if any organization, the people or the worker, they come to know that the higher authority doesn't care about them, they are least bothered about them, okay, and their future is insecure, they're not secured in that particular organization, so eventually you will see that their productivity decreases. It's not going to increase, it is going to decrease definitely. So how you need to show, how the higher authority or the administration, they need to show that they are concerned about the well-being of their employees. What is the way? So at that time, if we go to the 90s, maybe today Hawthorne effect may not be effective, but in those times obviously that was effective. So better lighting, more regular breaks, okay, so these were the concerns. I mean, and this is the way they used to show their concerns to their workers, and this also helped the workers to understand that yes, their bosses are concerns for them, and their productivity also increases. Okay. Now, what are the conclusion? I mean, what we can derive from the Hawthorne experiment? Okay. So there are few conclusions which were derived from the Hawthorne experiments. The first one is that though in the 18th century, when there was a industrial revolution, we used to find that physical working condition, pay band, the structure of the organizational work. Okay. This was very important to increase your productivity. But the conclusion of Hawthorne experiment showed that not only the physical working conditions are important, rather than your social and psychological factors are also equally important. Okay. If you are psychologically and if you are socially sound, then automatically your productivity and your job satisfaction level goes up. Secondly, everybody of us are working in any kind of organization. You must have seen that there is a formal there is a formal relation between us and the higher management. There is no informal relation. Well, to some extent we should appreciate and we should adopt the um, official etiquettes, official culture, ways of on office, but still, if there is an informal relation, like let's say I face a problem, I walk up to my line manager, my immediate boss, and I say that, look sir, I have got this particular problem, if it is possible for you to solve it out, or if you can just help me out in this current situation. That kind of informal relation should be there within any worker, okay, and within the worker and the bosses, okay. That creates your performance, that enhance your performance in much more way. If any organizational, in any organization there is a formal relation between between an employee and the immediate boss, then there is very likely there are chances that that may hamper the behavior and the performance of the employee. So we should forge formal relation and we should create informal relation so as to increase the productivity and performance level of our employees. So this was the second conclusion. The third one, normally you will see that in any kind of decision making process, okay, normally the employees are not been allowed to participate in any kind of decision making process. Normally the higher management, the administrative management, or the board of governors, they participate in the decision making process, but they do a very great mistake. What they do is that they are not concerned about the employees, whether their decision, whether their the decisions they are going to take is going to affect the interest of the employees. If that is going to affect the interest of the employees, then definitely that is going to hamper the employee performance. So in that case, what we are going to do is that the employees should participate in any kind of decision making process which is going to affect their interest. If we are going to do that, then the employees will definitely perform better. They're definitely going to give out their best and their performance will definitely grow significantly. Next, the employees should also understand, that the management is really interested in their welfare and well-being. So if the management is interested in their welfare, then definitely the employees will work more efficiently. But if somehow the employees believes that the management is not interested in their welfare, and definitely that is significantly going to hamper their efficiency in the long run. Now, most important thing is that in most of the organization you will find that not most of the organization, few organizations, the employees are not treated with respect and dignity. That is going to hamper seriously, that's going to hamper your performance level, your employees performance in the long run. That is due to happen. Okay. Why? Because obviously when everybody needs some sort of respect and dignity, there is no, if you are ignoring other aspect, that is okay. If an employer is ignoring various other aspects of the organization, that is okay. of the employees well-being, that's okay, but respecting and giving utmost upholding the dignity of an employee is very important. Okay, so if that has been done, then you will see that there is this dramatic uh, growth, dramatic performance enhancement will happen in any organization. Next, financial initiative. Normally what we do is that if there is a performance appraisal, while doing an performance appraisal, what we do is that we hand out, we give out financial incentive to our employees. Okay, that is not going to help alone. After all, we are social beings. Humans are social beings, and we want a personal touch. Okay, our social needs should be met, should be met. Our psychological needs should be met. Okay, so if our psychological and social needs are met and it has been understood, then definitely that is going to increase our productivity. There's no doubt about it. Financial incentive can somehow, there is a limitation to financial incentive, but if you are touching the social and psychological need of any employee, believe me, that is going to help any organization, and the employees will give out their 100% performance in the long run. That is going to help the organization immensely. Okay, now good communication. As we have already discussed, good communication is very important. If there is a free flow, if there is a good flow of information between the superior and subordinates, then that is going to improve the relation, and that is also going to improve the productivity of the staffs. If there is no communication, you may find many organizations where there is no good communications. Okay, so if there is no good communications, and the flow of information is been hampered, then definitely that is going to hamper the relationship and the productivity. So there should be no hindrance. There should not be any kind of obstacle in the communicating process, and there should be a very good communication. Okay, from the higher management to the employers and the employees. Next is special attention and freedom to express the view. I mean, most of the people, most of the employees, we don't get special attention, particularly if you are working for a multinational organization where you will find thousands of employees working. So it is practically, that is also not possible to give you special attention to each and every employee, and sometimes our freedom of views are also been crippled down. So that's going to hamper the performance, definitely. So every individual should be given special attention, and there should be freedom of views, freedom of expression should be given in any organization. That is going to that will definitely improve the performance of the workers in any organization. Now, contingency theory. So from 1950 onwards, the contingency theory was being propounded. So what do you mean by contingency? Contingency is something related to unexpectedness. We don't know what's going to happen. Okay. If something happens, unusual happens. Okay. So what we are going to do? Are we prepared for that? We may not get that kind of sales in the next coming year. We're not going to get the revenue we are generating. That revenue may not be generated in the coming years. So are we prepared for that situation? So that exactly the scholar like Fred Fiedler and John Woodward, he proposed that the effectiveness of an organizational practice can depend on any kind of context or situation. It is situation based. We cannot say that a particular approach to management can fit to all kind of organization. Okay. No, it is not possible at all. Okay. So they propounded a contingency theory that the that that's I mean a management approach that depends on a specific circumstance, any kind of circumstance that can change the organizational practices. Okay, the effectiveness of any kind of organizational practices that can be affected by any specific circumstances. For example, let's say in the era of COVID-19, you will see that many organizations they suffered in spite of their best management skills, in spite of their best leadership quality, management, leadership management, still a lot of organizations they suffered. So that is related, something related to your circumstances which is beyond our control. Okay, so if that specific circumstances come, we should be ready to, I mean, uh, we should be prepared, we should be well prepared to meet that contingency, which may come. Definitely most of the organizations they pass through a very crucial phases in their existence, their sustenance, so that may come. So we should be well prepared for that specific circumstance. So this is the Fiedler contingency model, where you can see that all the three models, all the three the leadership style, situation variable, relationship between style and situation, these are all interrelated. Okay, one is interdependent on the other. We cannot say that only the leadership style can I mean put a positive impact on the growth of the organization. That can be, but that may not be always the same, because it is also situation variables. Okay, I mean if any kind of such situations arrive, or any such kind of situation arises, I believe that the leadership styles may not be able to, I mean, get through it. So it is situation variable. So this is the model of the Fiedler contingency model, where you will find that the situation constitutes uh, the um, the effectiveness of any growth of an organization. Next, from 1960 onwards, you will find that organizational development. So organizational development emerged uh, drastically from 1960 onwards. So, what do you mean by organizational development? The overall development, the overall development of an organization, it developed from 1960 onwards. Okay, so it emphasizes the change management, the group dynamics, employee involvement, and their employee well-being. So these all the aspects of the organizational development is started from 1960 onwards. Okay, it evolved from 1960 onwards. This perspective, which views that organizations are a complex structure, they are a complex structure which is um, interconnected. It has been interconnected with each other. The way our um, financial world has been connected, uh, like all the countries are being interconnected with each other, and if eventually if a country uh, gets bankrupt, or if a country falls down, that is going to impact our other economies. The world economies are all interconnected with each other. So similarly, in an organization also, it is a very complex structure, where you will find that all the every systems are being interconnected with each other, and all the components affect and influence each other. So there may be internal factors and there may be external factors in organizational functioning. Okay. So this system, the system theory from 1960 onwards, this considers uh, that there is an interplay between the internal factor and the external factor, which helps in the organizational functioning. When there is a to function any organization, there should be there is an interplay between the internal and the external factor. Now, in the late 20th century, there is a behavioral economics. Okay, what do you mean by behavioral economics? What do you mean by behavioral economics? How do we study behavior and how do we study economics? Behavior we study through psychology. Economics is something related to your economy. So, in behavioral economics, which combines the psychology and economy, it it was studied how the individuals normally make the decision. How do they make decisions which is going to affect the organizational goal and structure? What are the employees' motivation? What are the decision making processes? Is there any biases in any organizations which is going to affect the the overall performance of an organizational structure? So this was the study of the behavioral economics in the late 20th century. Diversity and inclusion. In the late 20th century onwards, we'll find that most of the organizations, they accepted diversity and inclusion. Diversified workforce were being accepted in all the organizations, particularly the late 20th century onwards. So that shaped the organizational behavior. If there is a diversified workforce in any organization, that shaped the organizational behavior, and that also created inclusive culture. If there is any bias, there is an and also promoted equality. You'll find that in most of the organizations, you'll find that there are like diversified workforce. They try to keep a diversified workforce. Why do you need a diversified workforce? Because that is going to create an inclusive culture within the organization, and that is also going to promote equality in the culture. So the late 20th century, diversity and inclusion was taken into account. Next, in the 21st century, 21st century is a century of technology and digital transformation. So what is technology and digital transformation? How technology and digital transformation has changed the way organizations work, the way people work, the way the society is running, and the way we are looking at the organizational behavior of any organization. You will see that in the 21st century, there is a very rampant development of technology, particularly artificial intelligence, machine learning. So this has changed the perspective of the way we work. Artificial intelligence, or in short we say AI, it is going to tremendously affect the way people used to work. And believe me, in the coming years, you will see that there is a shortage. There will be a shortage of I mean, people will be out of their work. There will be layoffs because most of the work will be done by AI. AI is going to eat away all the jobs which have been present today. Effectively, they are going to work very effectively. So that will also create new challenges. That will also create more opportunities. Okay. So, including virtual teamwork. It will also create digital leadership. The way it is going to work. The digital leadership will be the CEO of any company. There will be virtual teamwork. Obviously, everything has gone virtual these days. All the meetings, everything is being done virtually. So there are positive aspects, there are negative aspects to the technology and digital transformation, the way our society has been transformed, the way the organizations are being transformed. So definitely that will be challenging for us, for any organization to sustain itself in the next century. Globalization and cultural diversity. There is no need to speak more about globalization, as all of you must be knowing what do you mean by globalization. Globalized culture. The whole world is a global village these days. The nature of the business these days has gone global. Um, Multinational organizations, MNCs, multinational corporations, they work in different societies, they work in different nations, where you will find a lot of cultural diversity within organization. Okay. Definitely the culture, let's say X company or X organization is working in an Indian scenario. Um, so we have a different cultural diversity, cultural behavior. So if that particular organization is going global, they have to meet with that cultural diversity within their organization, so that will lead to globalization of their form. That will help in the understanding the cross-cultural communication and management. Managing a cultural diversified workforce is definitely a challenging task for organizations these days. So organizational behavior has got the power to understand the cross-cultural communication and how we can manage that the workforce effectively. Sustainability and ethics in 21st century. So what do you mean by sustainability and ethics? See, what do we understand when we hear the term ethical principle, ethical values? When we are working in a society, when we are working in a particular geographical location, we'll find that there has to be some sort of ethical values and norms should be put into place. When any organizations is working in any particular area, in any particular geographical location, any society, it has got a moral responsibility towards that particular society, and term it as a corporate social responsibility. So whatever decision has been made, whatever organizational decision has been made, that should be very ethical. We should not practice any kind of unethical decision making process. Is going to hamper the organization in the long run. We have to sustain ourselves. Sustainability is one of the most important issues. COVID-19 situation, pandemic, we have seen that many organizations have disappeared. They are unable to sustain themselves in the long run. So to be able to sustain yourself, to be able to put a mark in the coming years to come, you'll find that you have to put some sort of ethical principles in your mind while making decisions. So this is also one of the evolution of the organizational behavior. So now if we summarize today's class, we'll see that the evolution has the organizational behavior evolution has come from a long way. Okay. um, um, so while focusing on efficiency and productivity, right now it has gone um, a bit ahead by viewing a holistic view of the human behavior, the organizational structure, organizational system, the internal factors which is going to hamper the organizational systems and behaviors, the external factors, what are the external factors, how to adapt to the changing business world, to understand how the various organizations function, how that is going to affect employee. So if we see the evolution of the organizational behavior, we can find that it has come from a long way. So I believe that all the points have been cleared and understood properly. So with this, we have come to an end of the evolution of national behavior. Thank you very much.